welcome to episode 2 of the More Watts podcast.
Yes, sir. We back.
We are definitely back. We're here in Trek Summit. Shout out to Trek for that. And just so you know, I'm Harvell, a.k.a. Mr. Esquire, a.k.a.
Here we go.
GSW.
Oh, man. Look, I don't have any more nicknames. I don't. It's your boy, Chad. I'm here. Follow me on Instagram, Chad Bennett, ChadBeeniet. Excuse me. Look at me.
Look,
Look at me, you know?
Yeah, fellas, what's up, man? Sock.
No G-Ock.
Nah, I don't have it. Man. Just follow the Black Watch page, Black Watch Cycling on IG. That's what it is.
What's going on, man? It's great, Rizzy. You gotta stop with this whole Barry White stuff. The time and period that we got going on, but I
I swear, we will get Ock and IG before this all ends.
It's not necessary, man.
I'm not sure.
He runs the Black Watch Cycling.
Yeah. He already has it. He's like, I have mine. I'm good.
And people think I run it all the time, and that's not true.
I'll just be responding. Low, you know what I mean?
He's customer service on the Black Watch page.
Fellas, how are you doing, man? Like it's a weird time right now because recently we had a very, very warm day and then now snowing outside. So it kind of it's one of those things like you want to go. We went out and we went biking.
Yeah.
I guess that was the unofficial ride for 2022.
We're doing like January 2nd or something.
Yeah, we did the January 2nd with Young 94, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And one of our new members from Brooklyn.
Shout out, Vern.
Yeah. He comes from all the way from Brooklyn.
Dedicated.
Shout out to Vern.
Yeah.
Across the bridge.
Extremely dedicated.
Yes.
Nah, but this day just came out of nowhere, so we had to take advantage.
Yes.
We had to
55
get
degrees.
outside.
Let's be clear. We are here in the tri-state area, located in New Jersey.
Yeah.
55 degrees is an anomaly. You know, like some people would
In
say
February.
the world is ending. We got 5 years left. But we took advantage of the day nonetheless.
Absolutely.
And typically, I don't come outside unless it's 16 above. So for me,
Yo, be
Go
clear.
further.
Chad was the one who was like, yo, we got a 1 hour window.
He sure was.
Everybody was looking at their phone like, this is Chad. Somebody.
It must be really warm.
Something must be wrong.
But even up to the day, I was looking at the wind. I was like, I don't know, man. It's gonna be 25 mile an hour wind. So we're gonna have to figure this out.
I got a little gas. I came outside with shorts. Big shorts.
You did.
I was good while we was riding, but while we were waiting for her,
Nah, that stopover.
Yes.
it was something serious, man. But
My
nonetheless,
bad, everyone. Life happened.
life does happen.
Life happened, and I had to chase down. Like I was out on the plains chasing down some real antelope meat.
And you caught up.
I caught up though.
Embarrassed us in front of Aaron. But
Yes.
We had a
Yes.
guest, and I was
shout out to Aaron.
Shout out to him.
Shout out
Broke
to
us
Aaron.
yesterday.
And the crazy thing about Chris is the apparel he wears. You can't miss him.
Not at
Literally,
all.
you cannot miss him.
Oh yeah.
Bright orange helmet,
Right.
jersey,
Someone called him,
socks.
what, the highlighter, right?
Highlighter.
The
Colorful.
highlighter.
Listen, peacock. That's what it is.
That's how you, okay.
That's what it is. You
Oh,
need to
That's
be
what you
seen.
call it.
I'll let you run with that.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to episode 2, man. Like it's this is a journey of all of us. Obviously there's 4 of us that are here right now, but there are well over 30 members that we have on it?
Yeah.
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 Well over
Close to
30.
50.
All over the tri-state area as well as Philly. I want to say we have some other states as well. Right?
BC, Dallas,
Dallas,
Baltimore.
DC.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
so we can get
expanding.
some crab cakes, some good ribs. Like, we're going to be all over the place.
Take a
So
trip. It's coming up, man.
Definitely follow us at Black Watch Cycling. Go hit up the website, blackwatch.cc.
Yeah.
I practiced that all.
Good job, sir.
But definitely hit up the website to learn more about us. But within these episodes, man, we're going to be just talking about our personal experiences, things that we've noticed, things that we've actually read up on, studied on.
Yeah.
I think it's a great source of information for a lot of folks who may just be like, what do I do now?
Yeah. Yeah. For us, that's how we started. It's at the root of it. It was like, yo, why did we even get into cycling? Like, what was that thing for us that was like, yo, this is something I want to do?
Yeah.
Like, obviously we've all been on bikes before, but to actually commit, like, buying a bike is a huge commitment. So once you like make that decision, like I'm gonna spend some money on a bike, you are committed, right?
Some money.
So what was it for y'all that was like, yo, all right, I'm down.
I don't know the statute of limitations. People know what I brought my bike for was. But let me say, shout out to Mike, man. Mike was a big here at Trek Summit. obviously Chris was really helpful. He gave me a lot of information.
No doubt.
Chad, yourself. It's the same thing with, I used to watch Ock a lot when we would be riding. And then I was saying to myself, yeah, this bike ain't gonna make it the one I'm on. I want to say everything played a big part, but the information, especially having a great person at your, wherever you're buying your bike.
Yeah.
Your local bike shop, wherever it is.
And I would say go local if you can. There's great deals on the internet, but a lot of times it's like buying clothes on the internet.
Yep.
You know, will this fit? Will it not fit? You know, how is this going to look? When you go in the store and you try something on, you have a better idea.
That return option is difficult. I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, you could buy. There's a lot of different products you could buy online, but a whole bike without getting fitted or coming and having somebody with experience help you out, that might be a little problematic.
Oh no, what type of bike? I didn't account for that part. You know, like
What type of bike?
You gotta do a mountain bike, commuter bike, road bike. You know, like at one point I was looking at the what was that at the time, the TTs.
The TT bike, right? Because it looks fly.
It looks
fly.
You know what I'm saying? I would have been out here struggling. Probably needed a hip replacement.
That's absolutely why. I mean, local bike shops, the people that work there are so knowledgeable about so many things, and it's not just that they're trying to sell you a bike, right? Like they're really trying to get you to create a relationship with this new machine, right? That you are going to spend a lot of time on. So it's very, very important.
Yeah.
For me, when we first started out, I don't even think it was some type of a aha moment or whatever. I just found myself automatically, it was over with. As soon as we started, I'm in the shop, like, yeah, let me count my dollars and all of that. Like, I'm about to pay for one, so it doesn't matter. Shout out to Donnie from Trek, because when I came in there, he helped me out. I had no clue what I was doing, and he pointed me in the right direction. We have some education videos out. You can check the YouTube for that. And that's pretty much what he did, like, explain the different types of bikes that are available, like compared to your, your body size, your height, and all of that. So the help on the local side is very important. You should definitely go to that route.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Donnie, because when I first got introduced to Donnie, I didn't have a Trek bike. So I was a little nervous coming into the store. I was like,
thought you were set tripping?
Yeah.
Why was you nervous to go into the store?
I didn't have a Trek bike.
Yeah, I was like, hey, do you guys service this bike? He was like, yeah. He was like, that's a sweet bike too, man, definitely. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And that was the start of the relationship, So you can start off on a different brand, but I think the relationship with the bike shop will enable you to like get into the bikes that are in that shop, So it's very much about the support that you get from the local shops.
Yeah, I would say it's like the same as, not the same, but along the same lines as when you form a relationship at the barbershop. You know what I mean? Like that's your spot. Like the bike shop will be your place. You got questions and little one-off components you need to buy or whatever, then yeah, it's definitely the place. Online is cool, but in person, like, it's a lot better.
Right, absolutely. I mean, shucks. I started riding because I was like, it's the pandemic now. I'm tired of running. I just got tired of running. I mean, running was cool. I used to try to do a 5K every day, and it was dope. It was fun at first. It was challenging to get my time down and that sort of thing. But over time, it's just like, this is not sustainable for me. Like, I can't get away long enough, like to really clear my mind. Like that 30 minutes is good, but sometimes I need like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to know, like, what about cycling though? Like what is that connection for you that keeps you getting on the bike 3-4 times out of the week?
Getting away from my daughter, kicking her back in the head. Like, she's a bully, I mean? She puts it in the house, like she's trying to run the house. But no, I mean, getting outside, like, you know what it is, the freedom that you experienced when you were a kid. You can't really go back to that, but like just being out on the road, either solo or with your people, it's like that's addictive, I guess, like, cause it's not going anywhere. Like that's here. So
yeah,
but that's what keeps me going at this point.
No, but that freedom is real, right? Like,
Yeah.
when you were a kid, well, me being from DC, shout out, South Side, but just being able to go out till the street lights came on, right? Like I can go anywhere as long as I'm back home by the street lights, right? So the bike gave me that same feeling from when I was a child to now where I'm a middle-aged man, right? To be able to still just kind of go out, get the wind in my face, and not really worry about anything in terms of time and, in some instances, location, right? Because the bike can take you places that you've driven so many times, but when you're on a bike, you just see so much more.
Yeah.
I've been noticing a lot of real estate. Since I've been on the bike.
right.
A lot of real estate. I noticed while I was on the bike, I'm a garage snob. You know, like my garage is slightly off center, so I got to make this weird cut. And when I'm riding past homes now, I look like, damn, that's a nice drive.
That driveway.
Man, that's fire right there. What I would do to have that foot to put back my garage so that it's straight now. That's like first world problems. But
Yeah,
for
of
me,
course.
it's very much being able to get outside, still feeling a level of fitness that's there. But there was the funny thing on rides, man. Sometimes we have how can I put it? Like we all agree on what the ride is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, it's like when you get the fellas together, there's this competitive part of it, which might break out for 5 minutes, and I know people are gonna be like, "Yo, did they go talking about going fast again?" Where there's this like, all right, well, let's measure what we've been working on, for so long, and you guys are actually working a whole lot more. And shout out to Kate over there at Jalapeno Cycling, but it's one of those things like, yo, you break out into the sprint, and it's like, yo, reliving your youth. You know what I'm saying? It's reliving your youth.
That's exactly what it is.
And I'm sure people were looking out the window like, damn, they fast. I need to get a bike. Well, come on down to Death Row. You know what I'm saying? Come to Black Bike Cycling.
Yeah. Yesterday, that's what happened yesterday. Like a little, I think we all realized that was gonna be a quick in and out window of time. This weather is crazy, so to take advantage of that is super enjoyable. And you can't help it. You can't help yourself. You know what I mean? I tried. I'm sorry.
All I heard was AR. I thought you said 15.
Right. Hold on. Can we talk about how the narrative is that Chris is always pushing the pace, and I'm just like, nope, I'm being disciplined. I'm staying back here with you,
I think a part of that is because you spent so much time trying to catch up to us. You burnt all your matches.
But I still have some in the tank.
Well, wait up for a second, because we all mentioned, why we do it. Chad's the one who has like a fleet of bikes in I'm like, why do
told
you do
you,
that?
I lease my bikes,
You lease
okay?
your bikes? Or you're the leaser, you're the lessor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People come up to your crib like,
Can I just borrow?
Chad's house? Yeah.
No, I've definitely caught the bug. With it's to your point, Ak, it's the freedom. Like that freedom to really get outside and that fresh air and to see things from a different perspective is so like addictive for me. I spent so much of my time in front of a computer in the house before the pandemic in an office, going from building to building, that that bike really gave me a sense of like freedom. No one can tell me how to ride this bike. Like the only thing someone could do is tell me what time to be home. So
Someone, right?
yeah.
You know who that is.
That's God.
But when you're out on the open road and you go up that hill and then you fly down it and then you take that corner, like there's something truly addictive about that.
Definitely.
And to then understand like, okay, like if I'm on this type of bike, I get this type of response from it. But if I'm on this type of bike, I get this level of response from it. Like it just makes you, and that's why I have a lot of bikes. It's the addiction it's the addiction of what this bike will do for me on that ride.
Yeah.
Like that in itself.
I'm just looking at the time. Look, we got a timestamp of him saying and admitting. Just want to make sure I know where that's at. In case we got to go back and pull the audio.
But real talk for me, also one thing I didn't mention though was the community, right? Like playing ball sports, basketball, football, or soccer, right? Like the way that you interact with the people that you do the sport with is very similar, but there's something unique and special about cycling, right? Because you just mentioned like we can go fast, like or it got me up the hill, or got me on this straight. But then it's just like, yo, what's good? Like there's still like this familial kind of camaraderie element that's there. Whereas in hoops, like it's trash talk the whole time. Like you trash, you garbage. It's like literally trying to keep my foot on your neck until it's over.
Right.
So transitioning from that type of thinking into like, well, I can just step on his back a little bit, and then afterwards I can be like, you're good. Like we're still good. Yeah, it's different.
Cycling, you don't have nobody sweating, leaning on you. I like that part.
I know, right? Especially right now. Yeah.
This is beautiful though, man. What I think about a lot is the fact, like, even when Chad first started and Rick was actually at it prior to me, and So we would get out on the road and all that. And you look around and it's not exclusive to us, but the same thing happened for us that happened to people, other groups in the area, whatever. So I try to figure out like, how did this all happen exactly at the same time, the same way for everybody? So even though
Right.
we're discussing this, this topic or whatever, and it's personal to your little story, but for real, it's everybody's going through it. And the fact that it's shared is dope. So when you get out on rides with other groups, y'all automatically, you already right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a lot to talk about, and you all have a piece of that, and it's just a shared experience. That's beautiful to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's that connection, like no matter what your background is or what you do for a living or how much money you make, that bike is your connection. All that goes out the window. And both of y'all are trying to accomplish one thing, and that's getting through the ride.
But that drive, I remember when I got bodied by a woman on a bike, it's nothing like it. Reminds me when I was in high school. There was this girl in my school named Stephanie Brown. See, this was Stephanie, the smartest person I'd ever come across in my life. No matter how hard I worked, she just got, you can do the extra credit? I'll do that extra credit. What you get, Steph? I got 110. Like, damn, I got 98. Riding with Kate. When I first ride with Kate. You out there, Rick, when we were out with Kate.
Yeah.
And Kate was talking the whole time. We were like, oh my God. And she's just like, yeah, let's go. Come on, you can do
she
it.
still does it to this day.
Right.
That's interesting you brought that up because that was my next question. I was curious about what keeps you going in cycling?
I mean, for me, it is that you're constantly challenged, right? Like if there's a hill before you went up it, it was difficult just to make it to the top. Now you make it to the top, but now it's about, damn, I'm up a little faster, right? Like, so you're still working your energy systems in the same way. Like, I still feel like, all right, cool, let's go up this one. Like Mount Pleasant. You can leisurely, well, you can't really leisurely
You
go up
can't
Mount
leisurely.
All right, let's before we move on, let's give everybody like a picture of Mount Pleasant, because Mount Pleasant, it starts all the way down by PSE&G, right?
Yes.
Isn't that Mount Pleasant? Okay.
Main Street.
Main Street.
That's Main Street, and this is in Orange, right? Is that Orange?
West Orange.
West
You
Orange.
can tell
Yeah.
I have no idea. I've lived here 4 years. I still don't. Right. So Main Street, and that goes all the way up to the very, very top where you have like that radio station, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Over, and then that's still West.
That's
Orange.
still West
Yeah.
Orange, right?
So how long would you say that hill is?
4 miles.
4 miles. Grade. What do you think the grade is?
Average grade on it is 8.75 to 9. So
And
it's
it has lifts here
it
and
has
there.
lifts, yeah.
Yeah.
So it does have some 13 percenters on it.
All right, so I'm gonna translate this for y'all. It's hard. It's tough.
It's very hard.
Very, very tough. So to go from the bottom to the top, it's like, oh man, this is an accomplishment. I just
Yeah,
did
it
it.
is.
But then if you're like, as you become more fit, right? Like I got up a little faster. I got up a little faster. I got up a little faster. And what happens is you still feel that sense of accomplishment because I made it up. So then when you ride with someone else who's like, what the hell? Like, bro, what do you do? How many times do I get that from y'all? Chris, Mount Pleasant? Like,
We start from scratch.
we just started the ride. Why are we going up Mount Pleasant?
Chris had this thing with hills, man. Hey, I remember that first year. It was just like, yo, it's gonna be a simple ride. And then by the time you realize he done finessed you again,
Again.
you're about
Again.
the grade is 10. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at another mile of a hill, and
Yeah.
you gotta deal
Yeah.
with it. But it helped us all out.
Yeah. What about you, Rick? Like, what was that thing that kept you going in cycling?
I definitely want to say it was while you ride with a group, it's still the independent part of it. Like you're the one who has to ride
Yeah.
your bike.
It's you.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You could be in a group of 20,
Yep.
but you're the one who has to make it move.
You gotta
you
have-
you have the energy, be the battery, the engine, the motor, all that for it. And there was something about it. I forget what it was, where it's like you're constantly testing yourself, right?
Mhm.
But in the back of my head, I will always think about this. Just keep spinning. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop spinning. And one thing, I don't think I've ever done this. One time, I think we were coming up Northfield, and I got off my bike. It's the only time I've gotten off my bike, and that was a tough ride, and I think I was catching cramps left and right, and I was like, you know what? I'm walking to AR's house, because my car was outside of AR's house. And it's just that, the independence of it all, it's one of those things like, I got to make this goal. You know what I'm saying? It's personal goal. And if I make this, then it's that much better because even talking about the hills, as you ride them, you start, it's like anything else. like a golfer. I know how to play this course.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I have to go hard. I know when I have to when I can ease up a little bit, when I can rest, even though I'm still spinning.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the parts that I like about rapping.
Yeah.
For me, like, I think I ain't gonna like tell him, but me and Chris, we probably the oldest cats. But nah, for real, like the health aspect is. At first, I didn't really think about that, but you start to really see a difference. Like when you go to the gym, it's kind of apparent. When you go to the gym, you start seeing effects right away. But like cycling works different systems and different parts of your body, whatever. So I start seeing effects different places. I'm eating different. You know what I mean? I'm definitely drinking way more water and all of that. So
Way more water.
I start thinking about the kids. Like, yeah, I'm trying to be around for a long time. So that's what keeps me at it. As far as, like you said, just keep spinning and what have you. But trying to transpose those type of lessons over to regular life and all that. So as we keep going, like I'm learning more, experiencing more. To me, it's dope. It's a great another addition to my life. This is a great addition to my life. So it's just gonna keep going for me.
I don't want to speak on behalf of Chad, but I remember looking at pictures
Oh yeah.
and Chad having one physique.
You're being real nice right now, man.
Right.
Right.
Real
Real
nice.
Chad being super svelte.
Very svelte.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's we're talking about the effects. Like, we live our days every day. Like, you go about it every day. But I just want to say that spring to summer, maybe even that summer, it was like, oh, shoot. And same thing that I think Mike is going through with Roki.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
he just put up a picture recently.
Yeah.
Mike is at it, man. That
Yeah.
boy is
Yeah.
at it, son. Yo, he went hard.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, that was the thing for me that kept me going.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're in your own body, and I'm not naturally, like, a person that's stand in the mirror and be like, ooh, ooh. But when you start to see people, they're like, yo, Chad, you, what?
Yeah.
What? And I'm like, what? What you talking about? Like,
Right.
then you don't even realize that the shirt and pants you're putting on just don't fit anymore. You just tighten the belt a little tighter. You don't think about that stuff.
It's different.
Like, but that was the thing that just kept me going. I'm like, oh, I'm on this journey. I shedded weight, and like, to get that type of response was motivating. Like, oh, I got to keep going. I can't go back to that. I threw out all the 36s in the closet.
Shout out everybody in the in Black Watch, because really technically you talking about pictures, but I don't know what the difference in time is. But when we did that Rutgers trip,
Oh yeah.
the Rutgers
Yeah.
route, everybody took pictures that we had a lot of flicks for that. And we
Yeah.
posted them in the Slack channel, and everybody, their current pictures are up there. You start looking at them like, damn, cat's a little, you know what I mean? A little swollen.
Yeah, it was the consistency.
But yeah,
you know?
everybody worked it down.
It was a level of consistency. But I think the also thing that just kept me going, I'm just naturally competitive. I played sports growing up. So, like, when you see someone pass you on a hill or just, like, casually fly by you, like, you don't take you don't take that lightly.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna, like, like, make sure I give it to Chris on the next ride, pause, but but it's like, yo, I want to be able to keep up. There's some guys out here who really have been riding for years, like years. And like, shout out to Major Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, when I first rode with Major Taylor, there's guys in their 50s and 60s who have been riding for years. Like, this is what they've been doing. And even on that one ride, they were educating me on, like, a bike computer. I was like, I'm not spending that much money on a bike computer, or
Now Chad has 7.
And count.
or speed and cadence sensors. Like, I didn't know what any of those things meant.
Yeah.
And I think, like, now knowing and understanding, I'm like, damn, I wish I would have known that then.
Yeah.
I'd be so much further now. And I think that's what this is all about for us with Black Watts. It's
Like,
like,
watching them do that so you don't have to.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, but I think I want to say use this as a compass. You feel me? Like, I think there's a lot of stuff that you have to go through to really appreciate, what those guys was right. Because there's a lot, I'm one of them, be like, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? And you realize, I probably could have saved some time had I just listened.
And money.
And
Time and money.
If, what they're talking about. But I do remember we were on a ride. I want to say this is at Great Swamp. We were out in Great Swamp, and we are riding, and there was an older white gentleman, and I think a woman, maybe him and his wife. I don't know. I don't want to put that on him. I don't want to get in trouble like that. But I remember while we were on the ride, cycling is one of those. We had this conversation. Cycling is one of the few things that you can spend money and look like a pro out the gate.
Yes.
Immediately.
Right?
Mhm.
I think me and you had that
Yes.
conversation, Chris. You were the one who said it. But this guy was, the bike he was on, once I started to get a little bit more knowledgeable, first of all, he was smoking everybody on this ride, and he's doing it very easy, right? And I'm thinking to myself, and this I had a Diamondback at the time, my first one. I'm thinking to myself, like, ain't no way, boy, ain't no fucking way. Like, how is he doing this, man?
Right.
How? And he was just coasting, like, talking, just like, hey, talking, blah, blah, blah. And then when we stopped, he said, hey, what you may want to do is this. Look at this right here. He's like, yo, if you invest like another $1,500, you'll be good. You won't probably be where you want to be because you always want to keep on being better, but you'll be better. And I'm just looking at him like, dog, like community, willingly giving the information. He was very interested in where all these black men were from.
Yep.
He wasn't scared. It was more the community part of it.
Yeah.
And he was rooting it on.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, I'm glad to see you guys out on this road. You could take that however many ways you want to take it. I took it as, you're glad to see me here because there's been a deficit for so long.
Right. Yeah. There's been a ton of rides I've been on where someone will pull up next to me. Hey, how many miles have you done? Yeah. And just like
The encouragement.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real.
Yeah. So that's motivating too, especially seeing our own people beat their horns, screaming, yelling. Even the ones that make us feel good about being on the bikes, the women, we've had those too.
Yeah.
Make you feel like you was at the club.
Yeah. I see y'all on them bikes. You're like, wait,
Exactly.
I'm married.
Right now. Let's make a left out. Come on, we gotta get the hell out of here. We gotta go, man.
No, but that's if the community is real, right? Like that's that other part that keeps me there. That keeps me here is riding with you guys and having fellowship with you guys and just meeting new people. Like our trip to Miami. Like how beautiful was that? Just meeting all those people and share a common interest. And we can just go out and chill and hang. And like you said, Rick, it's not me carrying them. They're carrying themselves and we're just pedaling together.
Yeah.
Full conversations pedaling for miles on end. So that's dope to me.
Yeah. My next question for y'all, because this is the one that will either get you off the bike completely or say, no, I'm gonna keep going. But like, talk about the hurdles and the challenges you've experienced with cycling.
Getting dropped. That was my biggest challenge. Like that feeling of,
Kind of hurts.
how can I describe it? It's a feeling of not feeling good enough, right? Like you feel like what Rick is saying, right? Like you feel fit. Like, man, if look at him. Oh, how? Like just how he's at least, like all these things, filling the gaps, filling the space with ... whatever, like that may be. But like that feeling of riding with a group, you feel like you're in the best shape of your life. And someone who does not look like they're in the best shape of their lives, right? But yet they are performing on their bicycle like levels and levels ahead of where you are.
That's an ego thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The ego.
Feel some kind of way.
Absolutely. And that was what motivated me to say, wait a minute, it's not about how fast I can run or how much I can lift. There's something unique about what's required to be effective and efficient on this bicycle.
Yeah.
That impacts my performance.
And that's the thing about cycling is like there's no body shape to
Correct.
be a good cyclist.
Correct.
Like what you do see in the pros is like everyone is really, lean.
Yeah.
And
We'll call it lean.
We'll say lean. Yeah. But trust me, there are some guys out here 200 plus that will give you the business.
All the way.
And so that was the thing because you could look at somebody like
And ladies too, though. Some
and
ladies too.
Yes.
Ladies too. And they'll smile at you when they do it.
Yes.
Like, hi, oh, sorry.
You're the
sorry.
most humble about
Yes.
it though.
Like,
That's
oh,
the
you'll
thing.
be okay. Like, really, how you left my lungs back there? All
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. Like I'll never forget, yes, the cake situation, but also when we were in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
There was a young woman on the Miami trip that was
Several.
Yeah,
Shout out to
several
Michaela.
actually.
Taisha, shout
yeah.
out, shout out.
Yeah. They were trucking. I'm sitting here like
Moving.
Okay, I have nothing left. I've burnt every match. But yeah, that's the challenges for me were just like, getting dropped. And then the ego, like really getting over your own ego.
Getting over yourself.
You know?
For me, like, even to the day, the challenge is not even on the bike, it's the off the bike stuff. Like, I mean, some of us work 9 to 5, some, like a lot of cats own their own business. So being parents, all of that, like, come on, man. It's, mad times you get ready to go out, something come right up right before you got your hall pass signed and everything, but something comes up right before you leave, and like, it's tough. But to me, actually, those type of challenges, but just life happening, makes me realize how much I really dig this. Because if I can't get out, I might feel some kind of way.
Yeah,
like, I might. I mean, like, I hurt a little bit, but it's a challenge. But it also shows me, like, this is something I'm gonna keep for my whole life, man.
Yeah.
I think physically, all of my life I've gone through a lot of cramping in my legs and stuff like that. I went through that a lot in the very, very beginning.
Oh man, Rick.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Pause right now.
Yeah,
This was
man.
Mr. Two Cramps.
Yeah.
10 minutes in the right. Like, hold on.
That's the two.
Like,
Barking.
you drink water? He's like, yo, I drink water, son. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
this is me.
it used to be bad, man. Like there's a sniper on the roof. Boop. Oh shit! Hold up. And I've been, it's cold outside, so we've been playing ball, basketball in gyms, and I actually pulled something again in my calf, and then compensating for that, my hamstring. So this is last week, so Thursday. And when it came up, like, yo, we gonna do this ride, I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. And actually, it felt really good when we had that sprint. Though there was a point where I was like, and my leg was like, yeah, all right, all right. You got about 2 more revolutions, and you about to be on the side of this road. You know what I'm saying? Which I've been before, because I remember we did it right. I was on the side. I was right there on somebody's lawn. They could have shot me if they wanted to. I was laid out like. And physically, that's been something that has been an uphill battle. But again, the information, sharing that information, trying different things, whether it be the stretches, eating, preparation, when to prepare for your ride, all that stuff played a big difference. So unfortunately, I haven't been applying that in basketball, but it definitely was something that when in riding the bike, I had to beat.
Yeah.
Yo, talking about basketball, like, so I just started back a little bit. And I don't like the energy there, bro. It's so different. It's like everybody is like so.
It's toxic. You know that's the word I'm gonna use.
No,
it can be toxic.
So is.
Jam, what you mean?
Yeah, like just like people like, oh, you trash. Like I'm like, bro, we just here to get a little sweat.
Depending on who you play with.
Yes,
like
you're not that good. You're here in the same gym I am.
See, this is why I don't play no more.
No, but it showed me what I used to think like, right? And just how much I have changed.
You trying to say cycling civilized you?
It civilized me, bro. Like you see me with my cardigan today. Next time I'm gonna have my bow tie.
Chris on the basketball court talking about, see me on Mount Pleasant.
Right.
Get on 2 wheels.
Yo, but real talk, like same thing, right? Like I would prepare, warming up, drinking water. Like, son, like what are you doing? I'm like, I'm getting ready to perform exercise, so I need to make sure that I'm like, yo, like, and then when we're out there, it's like, yeah, you trash, like, like, come on, I'm coming for your neck. I was like, that's cool, but or not, right? Like, it's one of those things that I've noticed, the toxicity that exists, but yet it became such a big part of what my expectation was in that particular sport. And cycling is so divergent from that, where we can still be competitive.
No, I was gonna say, I think it's there. I think it's low key. That's the part that's actually funny.
It's gentlemanly.
I think it's
like golf.
Yeah,
it's there.
It's golf.
It's definitely there. I mean, sometimes
golf on wheels.
when we're riding, you can just see it in people when they sizing each other up before you even take off, right? If I can make a comparison for people, I grew up in New York City. If it were up to me, I would probably rent an apartment all my life, right? And New York City is one of those places where, and I don't, I'm not saying this is for everybody. This is my opinion when it comes to this thinking. But at some point you grow up, if you travel enough, you be like, yo, why am I doing this to myself? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if you're not in a certain place in New York City, people always that robbing Peter to pay Paul or living check to check, that's becomes a lifestyle. And it's, it just, you do it over and over and over again, and you just think you're living, and you're not really living to the best part of positivity or potential that you can have to live comfortably, right? So I think that it's kind of the same thing. In certain basketball courts, you just get used to it.
Yes.
Motherfuckers just, you motherfucker, you ain't shit. The hard hits, the screens, the crazy physical aggression and all that stuff. You go to a certain court, maybe in another place, you get knocked down. They give you remember the first? Do you remember the first time somebody made a call for you on the other side? Think about that. Just think about that. Yo, I fouled him. My bad, man.
Yeah, you good?
You getting up like, yo, hold up. What? Don't touch me.
Right,
what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
on my team.
You're not even on my team. So it's like that. Once you change that mindset, I think then you start to just appreciate just what cycling is, or any other sport, going to the other gym or whatever it is. But I think that's been a lot for us because in the pandemic, gyms weren't open. When it was warm, they took the rims down in this particular area.
Right.
So it was one of those things, blessing in disguise.
Yes, it was.
But it also was that transition where it's like, you know what? I think I enjoy this a little bit more. It's not as tough on my body. My knees are, okay. My hips, all that. My back doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah.
All of that kind of laid into cycling.
Yeah, and not to go too far off topic, but even that whole thinking, you can kind of feel it translates a little bit into cycling, because when you ride with other clubs or you invite them to your ride, it's almost like this, like you're going to someone else's basketball court.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's like, yo, bro, we just trying to shoot a couple,
Right.
And so I think as we start to, cycle a little bit more and people get to see us out, we're not the ones at the basketball court trying to kick everyone off and we're just gonna run this whole joint.
You ain't Cobra Kai. Break his neck.
Right. And be like, oh, he trash. Don't
Drago.
bring him back in.
If he dies, he dies.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I know for this year we want to do a lot more of, is like going on rides with other clubs so they can get to know us a little bit more and realize, like, look, yes, we like to go fast, but more importantly, we want to get to know y'all.
Yeah.
We want to get up and ride, and we want to go to your city and understand how y'all get down and understand the roads, because all we know at this point is Jersey.
Yeah.
And we want to climb somebody else's hill.
Right.
We want to go fast on somebody else's straights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the goal for us in 2022, not to get too far off topic, but yeah.
And again, so we can connect with you off the bike. Just follow us on Instagram, Black Watts Cycling.
Yep.
Also the website, blackwatts.cc.
Bro.
Cha-ching.
Ching, ching. Ching, ching.
So we have this segment that we'll be doing on the podcast. It's an educational opportunity for Coach Chris.
My 10 seconds. It's just my 10 seconds.
We call him Coach Chris. If you've ever been on a ride with us, Chris will coach you even if you don't ask to be coached.
I'm working on that.
Word.
My wife tells me that I don't need. I'm like on the Progressive commercial. They didn't ask you that. They didn't ask you that. Answer yourself. You don't have to help them park. Yeah. So today's is on cadence, and cadence is the speed with which you move your legs on your bike. So when your feet are connected to the pedals, as you make a revolution, one revolution around is considered your cadence amount. There is an optimal cadence that every cyclist has, right? It's something that's internal to them, it's natural to them, and the way you find out what that cadence is just by pedaling. And the key is to not coast, right? So what you want to do is begin to build up your cadence enough so that you can continue to pedal and not coast. So today's lesson is about cadence.
So let me ask you this, Chris. In order to build that up, what are some tips that you can give someone to increase their cadence?
Absolutely. So your cadence will be impacted by two things. A lighter gear or an easier gear, you'll have no trouble with just moving your legs faster around. A heavier gear or stronger gear, you may feel like, oh, I can't move my legs as fast, right? So one of the things that I would say is to find your best gearing where you can get to that natural comfort level of how quickly your legs spin, irrespective of terrain. So use your gearing. And what you'll hear on some rides is, hill is coming up.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Yeah, it's funny.
And if they're looking, okay, say they were on a ride and they just finished the ride and they're on Strava. What are some of the metrics that they'd see on Strava that will tell them how well they've done in terms of their cadence?
So,
yeah.
first thing is you have to make sure you have what's called a cadence sensor. And that's a sensor that allows you to see and understand how many times your legs went around, how many revolutions that you've made. And what's cool about Strava is once you get a cadence sensor on it, it'll show you your cadence and you'll see dropouts. Those dropouts occur when you stop pedaling. Those dropouts also impact what your average cadence is. So the key is keep pedaling the entire time. Try not to coast unless you're going down a really steep hill or something like that. But when you're just on regular flat roads, just keep pedaling and use and adjust your gearing so that you can do so, and then it'll show up based on that cadence sensor on Strava.
That's pretty dope. And also set goals.
Set goals.
Set some really easy goals for yourself that you can accomplish. Like if you look on Strava and your cadence is, 60, 60 RPM. Say, you know what? Next ride, I want to do 65.
Right. And I forgot to mention, Chad, the most important things about Caden Rick is that you use your muscles more, right? So the slower you pedal, you're actually using your larger muscle groups more. And they only have so much for what we'll call right now energy in them, versus if you were using a higher cadence and you can spin them more, you're using less of that energy.
That's dope. Thank you, Coach Chris.
And thank you to my minute.
Coach Chris with the message. Hold on, let me see if I got. There we go. It's applause. They can't hear it, but you can.
Wrap it up.
No, for this last piece, I want to talk about something that we all have used, especially going to my guy, Rick, who's cramped a lot. There's a product that we all use. Do you have it?
Yeah, sure.
Let's break that out. I know for me, when I first got into cycling, I just used pure, good old fashioned water. And while yes, water is great for you in staying hydrated, there are some products out there that will help you continue to stay hydrated that have electrolytes and the right amount of sodium, because we've all been on those really hot rides and you go, wait.
Right. I'm thirsty.
Got the cotton mouth.
That's when it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
You're done.
You got the salt all around your face.
Yeah.
And that means you are dehydrated.
Absolutely.
It is too late. So this is a product that we all use from scratch. It's a sport hydration drink mix. You drink it on your rides. You can even fuel a little bit from it. My favorite flavor is the strawberry lemonade, and for the fall, the hot apple cider.
Interesting. I like that apple cider. I'm a lemon lime type of guy myself.
Okay.
So
No, that strawberry lemonade is good. It comes in a packs like this. You could spin up before you get out, or they have the little singlets and you could take it out with you, dump it in your bottle and all that. So I know these have helped me out, especially on those long rides. Went to Rutgers or Bedminster or whatever. I had a couple of them. So.
What would you say? Because I know people are probably looking at this. This is the powder form.
Yeah.
powder
Correct.
form, yeah.
They also have like energy gels.
Yes.
Right, the little cubes, which I have stolen from Chad many of times. I think I was like 8 bags in by the time I started paying them back. What would you say is the difference between the two?
So it's how your body actually absorbs the nutrient, right? Like, so in a liquid form, when you're putting your body under heavy stress, it's a lot easier for your body to absorb it, versus when you start taking chewing whole foods, meaning like cookies or bars or anything like that, your digestive system has to work a little bit harder to break that down, to turn that into a sugar so that your body can use. Those little gels, the goal of them, I don't know if you guys know this, but I researched this. The goal of them was to give us the sensation of having something that our body would need to break down, while at the same time allowing it to get into our bloodstreams faster.
You feel full.
So, thanks, Chad.
No, hold on.
You're welcome.
Let's not go past this. Rick, so what have you done? What has been the biggest thing that's helped you reduce your cramping? Because you used to be Mr. Cramps.
It used to be Mr. Cramps for real, man. My wife would just look at me and shake her head like, you out here cramping more than me, boy. Embarrassing the family. I started using the powder forms.
Okay.
Also, I mixed that. Well, I was drinking that. I want to say 45 minutes before my ride. And I started doing my stretches about an hour before the ride. Right, doing a assortment of stretches because I used to just do the stretches I would do for basketball.
Right.
I started doing stretches more for my hips to elongate hamstring, the calf muscles and everything. So I started focusing on that. But this really, really helped out because I started to notice that wasn't there as much. You know what I'm saying? And all the white powder all over your face, that wasn't happening as much as because I wasn't getting as dehydrated so quickly.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I think this wraps episode 2 for us.
Yeah, man, we got 2 in the can. That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yes. Once again, follow us at Black Watch Cycling on Instagram. Go to the website, www.blackwatch.cc. You can join us. Doesn't
Please
matter
do.
where you are in the country, the world, you can join Black Watts. Please feel free to shop. We've got some dope things that we're also coming out with for the 2022 spring summer.
They look out for those kids.
Yeah,
Please do. And shout out Trek. We're here at Trek Summit,
that's right.
filming this podcast here at this location.
Hashtag go by bike.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go by bike.
Brian, we see you.
Yeah, shout out Brian.
and hit up their website as well, trekbikes.com. It's not just what they have here in store. The servicing is really, really great. So if you have a bike similar to the experience that Chad had, bring your bike in to get serviced because some of them been in your garage, in your apartment. They ain't been rode in fucking months. Go get it cleaned up and get it back on the ride. And like Chris said, hashtag go by bike.
That's what it is.
Bikes.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Not B-U-Y. Go B-Y.
Right.
Bike.
Right. And Rick, where can they find you on IG?
Instagram, Twitter, fan base. That's what I'm on as well. Gray Rizzy, GRAY, RIZZY.
And I'm on IG at Tron Rides, TRONRIDES.
And I'm on IG, Chad Bennett, BEENIT.
Got it right that time. And then there's no IG.
No IG.
We
Black
gonna
Watch
get him an
Cycling.
IG.
Black Watch Cycling on IG. That's what it is.
Black Wild Cycling.
That's right.
We out.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Peace, fellas.